Welcome to the Base Coat Brainiac podcast. My name is Austin Hauser. I am Chief Brainiac over at Base Coat Marketing. If you own a painting business and you're listening in, you are in the right place. So today we have Alex, the king of cabinet coating kings, owner of a $3 million painting company. He started in Florida and is now expanding to Virginia and Texas. Alex, you are a humble individual with a mindset that aligns with some of the most successful business owners I've ever met. So first of all, I wanted to thank you for being here today.
Well, thank you for having me. I always want to spread the wisdom that I have, incurred over the experience of the last, especially 10 years of my life, or 10, 15 years of my life. It's been a lot of, awakening moments, a lot of tough moments. But that's life, right? You get to choose your heart, and you either stay put, and that's hard, or you elevate and you push yourself, and that is equally as hard.
Yeah, it's so true, man. So we're here to really talk about you today. And what I want you to do is take us back in time, preferably sometime after birth, but before you started your business. What's your story, man?
Okay, so quick rundown. My past is I consider it, I learned from it with wisdom. I don't dwell on it because I am completely a different person than I was 10, 15 years ago. Okay. I would say I'll start off with basics of who I was. I had restaurants and nightclubs. I was that typical basic Guido nightclub owner, right? Like, just if you can picture egotistical, womanizing, selfish individual, but cool, like always it
I'm picturing a gold chain somewhere in
environment.
there.
Well, like, not like a jerk, but I was always like that was, that's what I thought I wanted, right? So I got the money, the girls, and then I slipped into all the other things that come along with the nightclub scene, and then I ended up, thinking to myself one day, I got money, I could get, you know, basically any type of girl I want here. I have all these accesses to anything I want. So I was like the big fish in a small pond, right? And but I'm like, man, I still feel just as bad as I've always felt when I didn't have these things. And I thought this stuff was supposed to make me happy. So that was like the first awakening. It's tough when you realize that, because you're like, man, I just climbed this tall ladder, but the wrong one, because I was not into that lifestyle. So I had to make a big choice, which a lot of painters, business owners, entrepreneurs have to make in life. And you have to make many to, really put 100% into something, or, see that you went the wrong way and dissolve with it, and then isolate and renew yourself. So that's what I did. I pretty much gave everything away. Went into isolation for a little bit. Really wanted to find myself. Who's Alex? You can see on the screen Alexander the Abundant. That's me. That's my character, right? You get to make your own character, and then don't feel like weird about it. That's you. Live you, right? Like, you make your own life, and the faster you could get away with allowing the distractions from the outer world affect how you want to be, that's like the faster you can get successful and happy. So I'm here to show you how to get successful and happy, because I've been successful and miserable. And then I got successful with painting, and still those feelings were coming up. I'm like, but I changed. But inside, we're still the same demons. So I'm really here to show and speak about how you need to work on yourself internally just as much as you work on a business, because the business is external, right? You created this thing, but you're still creating your life from your insides, how your core beliefs are that you don't even know about. So when I got into this business, I went in it with huge manifestation dreams, right? Like, I quit I was working with a buddy. I, separated from that company, again, took a total loss, and started my own with like 30 grand, right? I built a $20,000 spray booth with three or four spray booths, and I only had one crew. Like I started my company already doing 6 jobs. Most people, you got to have guts to do that, right? Like I just had this naive knowing I'm going to get this successful. And, I powered through everything that's along that journey. And that's what you get to do too, because you get to have the imagination of the beauty of the success, but you got to hold real tight to that because there's a lot of steps along the way that try to knock you down. And if you don't
Amen.
you ain't gonna feel that feeling. So working on the inside of you, because you got to change your inside before your reality changes. Because you could be just like me, you could get the whatever you think will make you happy, and then you get there and you're like, oh my god, this was not my
It's a
dream.
trap.
Yeah, and then you have to climb another ladder. So what I really want to get, I guess, put forth to everybody is, you know, open the business, have the courage, or it's never a bad idea to go with someone who can teach you and train you and treat you well. And then if you still want to do the business later on, that's fine, but like you need to know you could handle the entrepreneur life. And it's like it could dig you into a hole where sometimes people can't get out of it.
Absolutely. And it's funny because I was just listening to a podcast yesterday about happiness, and they were talking about the mindset of always having that thing. It's like I will be happy once I get X or Y, and you get that little burst of dopamine, and that always comes back down. And the only thing holding you back from being happy is yourself. And I think something else that you brought up there is just that concept of being 1% better each day. Like a lot of us have this mindset of, I need to invest all of my time and energy, and I don't have that right now, so I'm going to put it off until tomorrow. You really don't. You just need to do one thing better today that you didn't do yesterday.
Yeah.
Over the course of a year, you're going to be 100% better.
Yeah,
Um,
I
so
feel with the so I call it HFEV, right? I actually leveled it up to UFEV, the utmost frequency, energy, vibrancy. So you could take steps with this. You get to. I tell my guys all the time because I fall in the trap of the bigness, the grand slam all the time. Like, oh, I just want to be free. You got to sit in every moment and make sure you can just analyze what's going on and make sure you're being your best. So highest frequency, energy, vibrancy in the moment to your own perception and situation. Don't judge yourself on what you do compared to anyone else. That's going to destroy you.
absolutely.
You got to sit there and just say, all right. And this is tough stuff. No one teaches this stuff. All right. No one's telling you, hey, here, you got to talk to yourself all the time, analyze every thought. A business owner is so just piled up with different issues. They don't have the capacity to even want to do this, but you must, because if you don't, you won't be the best person you can be in your life, and you won't grow the business to the point where you can be happy and have this big business. Like that's my thing is I want to have just as much time as I do now if I have $100 million business. So that's how I would scale. Um, but you got to live in the moment and really just ask yourself, what on a scale of 1 to 10, how's my energy right now? Like, am I happy? Am I getting stressed out? Like, let's look into that situation. Is it really something that could stress me out? And am I making the situation better by stressing out? Or even if this worst case scenario happened, but I was my happiest, I'll at least make decisions after this to have the best outcome. So it's just you got to be disciplined and you got to want it. Just like
Yeah,
if you want to have a big business, man, if you want the happiness, you got to commit to that, just like you commit to everything else. It's just a different, you know, I would say practice. You don't get the gratitude right away. You don't get the instant gratification. You you got to wait for it. And
It's
then you
that
sit and you gotta wait for it. You gotta sit. And then eventually you're just like, you know what? I came to the conclusion it was like, I'm gonna do this no matter what. And if I get these moments, awesome. And if not, I don't care. This is who I am. This is what I want. This is what I believe in. And that's it. That's what I told myself.
it's that uncomfortable feeling that every entrepreneur lives in that makes or breaks how successful you can be. Because that uncomfortable feeling means you're doing something right, and we are not designed to thrive in that unless you have the mindset to understand that that's okay.
Yeah.
What I'd like to do is shift briefly and talk a little bit about your business.
Okay.
So let's just start from the top. How long have you been in business for? How'd you get started? Take us down memory lane there.
Okay. So it was a little over 4 years ago. Like I said, I had a business partner. Like I said, I'm always about high energy, frequency, vibrancy, positivity, and I got to live in that world because my past self, had a lot of, doubts, fears, scarcities. So you got to realize who you are. Know thyself is very important, and then put yourself in situations where you can grow and be successful. So about 4 years ago, I split. Like I said, I had like 30 grand in the bank. I'm like, all right, I'm building this. I had one guy who was coming with me, and then I'm like, it's just gonna happen. So, but when I did my first job, I had like 120 bucks in the bank, and I had a brand new house and a family of four. A lot of people can't go through that pressure. You gotta see the North Star. You just got if you're gonna do it, if you decide to do it, you gotta go all in and do it. And then be smart. Like I wouldn't say everyone maybe has the ability to do that. I had everything set up. Like I had a plan that was, had a high success rate.
Yeah.
So I went with it, and it was great. My first year, by like 5 6 months, I was doing 5 6 jobs. My first year, I think I did 1 million just in cabinet painting. Second year, we did about 1.5. Last year, um, well, I guess the year end is still this year. We're gonna be around like 3. That's because I added, Dallas, Virginia, and then some remodeling services as well. Um, so and none of the I didn't add these with like, oh, I have all this abundance to like, and this makes so much sense and it's gonna be great. No, it wasn't the best time frame when I added all these things. I did it again in faith and super uncomfort. Like, but I just felt this is being brought to me, you know, and I need to take this opportunity, even though it might slow me down a little bit. It's gonna make me stronger. I'm gonna have to work for my mindset to be higher. I need to be a better leader now. I got to get better skills. I need to tighten up the business more. I need to get help to these other businesses I have. So, and then Austin's been a part of that, and he could see how in the last like 2 months I've really like stepped everything up.
So let's talk about that a little bit because I think a lot of people don't understand the difference in mindset that you need to have to grow a business from 0 to 7 figures and then from 7 figures to multiple 7 figures. Sometimes the people that you have in place, from 0 to 7 figures are not the same people that are going to get you to that multi 7 figure mark, or the processes and the mindset that you need to wake up with every day is not the same either. Tell me a little bit about that shift and how you overcame some of those challenges as a smaller business
Right.
to where you're at today.
Well, before I had, and I did the 1 mil, the 1.5, and pretty much half of this year, basically doing the admin, all the sales, all the management, all the scheduling. I had the systems really well set up, like drip jobs, phenomenal, helped me out a ton. Um, and then I had a marketer basically, but you have to see like whenever you want to level up to that next level, it's you have to have a different mindset because your your I guess autopilots have got say you do 3 jobs a week and you're like, "Man, I'm doing good. I have all this." If you're doing 3 jobs a week, your body and habits are built for those 3 jobs a week. If you want to add 2 more, you got to have the guts to be like, all right, well, how do I do that? Obviously, you put more marketing, you do this, but then you have to understand there's good. Are you going to put that extra 35% in because now you're doing that much more work? Or are you going to hire someone who's going to help you do that work? And who is that going to, and what type of mindset do you want to build into this company now? Like, who are you going to show up as? You know, you got to be consistent. You got to be powerful. You got to be the dad. You can't show fear to any of these people, even when things aren't going that in the best circumstances. You got to be powerful. Like, it's all good. We're already at this, success level. We're already past this. We just got to go through this to get stronger. So you really have to hone in on leveling up your mindset. That would be like reading books on business expansion, however you need to do it. I have my own philosophies, and it's way different than everybody else in this space. So I might not tell you exactly how I would do it, but I would say a lot of people in this space, hopping on these podcasts, going like the PCA, you know, listening to Tanner stuff, listening to all these other phenomenal guys who speak on these when we have the speakers for launch offs and all that. All those guys, they're giving you all the wisdom. Like, you are getting everything. So if you're not open for the wisdom, like, you can take it, I can write all this down. But if you don't believe in yourself to be able to do that, even if you start, it won't happen. You got to believe in yourself. You got to have the energy, the power to say, I'm going to change. I'm going to become that person. Right? And it's inside. You can be that person outside, but whenever you go home, you're going to be that old person.
Exactly.
Be that old person. It's going to dig in you, and you're going to be like, what's going on with me? It's going to destroy your brain, and because you don't know why. So that's why I'm so just on it with you. You need to do your inner work. Trust me, guys. Like, I do it all. I work out, I do the business, but I hire people so I still have time to do other stuff. Like, the money's not the most important.
Money
The
should
money
not
will
be your
kill
primary
you.
motivator.
Money
That's
will
exactly
kill
right.
you. It'll bury you because you have no time for anything. Then your family goes down. Then you're mad at everyone in your business because you have no time. No, it's a family, right? Everything in my life is a family.
It's amazing.
And I make sure I make time to, I go through insane days. Like, sometimes I talk to myself a lot, but I'm like, wow. I go, this is how you want to treat yourself? Like, inside, you really want to feel this negative? But then I go, yes, I elevated because I can see how I feel inside now. That was usually an autopilot. When you start feeling how you used to feel, and it's like, oh my God, that's your body showing you that you elevated. And hey, help me out, because look what kind of environment you had me in. You see what I'm
So powerful. So I really hope everybody listening in understands what Alex is getting at here. It's about not what you can do for your business, but what you can do for yourself to elevate your business. And this is something that I have hammered time and time again. You need to take care of yourself, your mental health, your physical health, your relationships. Your business will come last, and your business will thrive as a result of that. So, Alex, what I'd like to do is just talk a little bit more about your business. So you mentioned that you've had extreme growth here, and I imagine that's not linear. What are some of the challenges that you have overcome in the last 3, 4 years that have allowed you to get from 0 to over $3 million in revenue?
I swear, I know, Austin. Everyone says the same thing. We try to talk about business with you, Alex, but you always go back to mindset.
That's fine. That's why we're here, man.
So I've overcome myself.
Biggest
I
challenge.
literally have overcome myself. I've put myself into challenging situations, probably like putting myself in dangerous situations, sometimes, but like, I just feel these growth points. Like, I know I'm in sync with God or the universe, and this is like, I can feel I have to move forward, even though 95% of people wouldn't do it. And then in the meantime, when it might not seem like it was the best decision, I still believe. I'm like, I and I believe this is going to work. I know it's going to work. I know I could get to this point, and I'll figure it out. And regardless, I'm going to do it at the highest mindset. And then if I got to buckle down, I don't buckle down and work more. I don't go to the business and hang out more. I wake up at 4 and meditate for an hour, but not like I'm just not like sitting there, right? I'm meditating on and visualizing who I have to become to have this situation work, right? I meditate on the feeling of it working, and I envision it working. What this does, it allows your body, it creates the environment that it's already happened. So you like automatically get the energy to do the right decisions to get to these points. So you got to work on yourself, because like if I'm trying to do 20 jobs a week, Alex Corral doesn't know what that is. So I have to read books, I have to talk to people, I have to, envision what it would be like, and then you commit.
Yep.
That's basically what I did. I have 13, 15 employees. I haven't hired one. I don't recommend you guys do that. They've all come to me. I've attracted phenomenal people. But that I put in so much work on myself. I put in probably more work on myself than the business, but I've now got the people who are better than I in these certain areas that can make the business way better for me. So now now my business is working nonstop, and I can focus on how do I become the best leader for them. Because a lot of these guys are smarter than me. I'm not going to teach them anything, but I can teach them energy. I can teach them free vibrancy, grit, resilience, faith. Look at what you can do with belief. One of my guys who I just got on, he's phenomenal. He's so like technical, and he goes, Alex, I don't even understand you. But he's like, I love it. And he's like, I have some friends who are similar to you, and they're like, dude, you got to listen to him. He knows what he's talking about. It's these truths. I've lived through it for 10 years. You got to love yourself enough to go through the mud, to believe in yourself when nothing looks good. And
it's hard.
And then the universe will show you.
Yeah.
Hey, you're doing the right thing. Relax.
And one thing you touched on is meditation. So that has been a game changer for myself as well. Every day I sweat and then I go meditate. And the purpose of the meditation is to really reduce your overall inhibition for the day. So it takes you to a lower level. So no matter what happens throughout that course of that day, you're going to have the mindset to be able to address that appropriately as a leader instead of reacting. Something else that I wanted to touch on here is just the motivation behind all of this. So what motivates you to get out of bed every day, and like what's your why, Alex?
I have a family. I have 3 boys and a girl, and I have 15 other parts of my family at CCK, and they all trust me to support their financial, needs, and be the best human being I could be. So my motto is HFEV, and that's why I meditate. Real quick, I want to say this thing about meditation, because a lot of listeners, I'm trying not to go too deep into this stuff, but so you understand what meditation is. Meditation isn't just sitting. It's like, before you meditate, you want to understand what you want, right? So visualize your goal, and then see how that makes you feel. Be in the feeling of the accomplishment, okay? Then you go to meditate, and you stay in that feeling. So all you're doing, what meditation is, you're training your body to be in a higher successful state, so that the more you do it, your body's already expecting success. But the goal is to do it so often, just in the successful, loving, wise state, whatever you want, and not need the external accomplishment to be in that state. When you could just be successful, like inside you, like Alexander the Abundant. I'm still working on that one. Okay. Don't think it's like, but it's coming. I'm working on it, right? I put it out there right there. I'm confident enough to put it on that screen. A lot of people wouldn't be. When you can come with the feeling every day, you attract everything you want and more. Because now nothing external bothers you. No one could tell you anything that's going to deter you from this feeling, right? And let me tell a lot of you guys something. When you get the aha moment and you're like, oh man, I got to change. I got that epiphany. You created a whole world around your past your past energy, all your past mindsets and beliefs. I would say 80%, if you really elevate and evolve, 80% of your past life won't be there in about 3 years.
Totally agree.
I'm just saying, some people will come with you, some people won't. Who has the guts to love themselves, to elevate?
And I think a lot of people are scared of that, right? The idea of losing friends that you've had for a while that could potentially be dragging you down as a person and holding you from being successful or the best that you possibly could be. I think that's one of the biggest challenges that most entrepreneurs need to overcome is the person you are today is not the person that you need to be to get you to where you want to go. One of my business coaches had this exercise of closing your eyes and picturing your perfect life, where you want to be in 3 years, in 5 years, in 10 years, and then picturing what person do you have to become to get there. And that person is not the person who you are today. And again, that is a very difficult thing to overcome. Any thoughts regarding that?
Yeah, well, I have I have a big board here of craziness. What other people would say crazy. You can see this. You can't even understand that. Computer code, okay? And then I have stuff on this back. These are things you just gotta become you. You gotta be like, what do I? Why am I going to do these things? Because you have to, when you change yourself, you have to have no ego because you're literally telling yourself, oh, I was doing this wrong the whole time. All right. So in terms of what you said, that's exactly what I was talking about. Like, if you're going to grow the business, like, who's that person who grows the business to that mark? Like, for me, I'm trying to get to the point where nothing in this world, nothing can get in here from me just being in a successful state.
Yeah. That's the end goal of, I think, any business owner is to have that bulletproof personality, the mindset that knowing that nothing in your external world can impact how you feel and your happiness today. And it's challenging. And I want to make sure everybody listening in understands it's not linear. You don't just wake up one day and decide you want to start working out and meditating and expect results real quick. It's hard. And that's the point of this whole thing is you got to do the hard stuff to get the success on the other end of that. So, Alex, we've talked a lot about mindset here, and I want to dive into a few nuances of your business because I think a lot of people listening in understand that they need to work on themselves, but there are some nuances of your business that make it successful. One of which, in my opinion, and I want to get your input here, is the fact that you decided to focus primarily on one particular service. You are the expert in the cabinet painting space. That is what seems to me from the outside, the external here, is what allowed you to scale so quick. But take us back to, where you started and how you landed on cabinet painting and not just a general painter that also does cabinet painting.
I've never been in construction. All right. I never knew anything about construction. I had a buddy who I got introduced to who was doing it. And then I was about to take this sales consultant job, and I had like a month in between, and I started working with him, and he had a cabinet refinishing company. So that's basically all I knew. I never painted a room, nothing. So I learned in that month, and I'm like, hey, this is pretty cool. So we started business. It got really big. I didn't like his mindset. He's very demeaning to the employees.
My
And I was like,
boss.
yeah, he had to be the boss. I'm like, bro, no one likes you like that. Like, I like you because you're cool with me, but no one knows you. Like, you don't need to be like that. So it just ended up where it didn't work out anymore. And I was just like, this is all I know. This is all I don't know anything else. Right. So I already knew how to grow this business. So honestly, it was kind of like luck in a way, but I was prepared for it. And so I just wanted to be cabinet coding, right? Like that's what I wanted to focus on. Even when I had other opportunities, you know, I focused on this cabinet coding because I saw a lot of people, even if they were DIYers, they still didn't want to tackle. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? So the focus and the fact that I focused on it and all my guys just focused on it, that's why we became the best. Because it's been 3 to 5 years doing 8 jobs a week. We have more experience than anyone, you know? So we could go I have the systems for everything. We failed more than anyone and fixed it, you
That's how
know?
you grow.
Yeah, so that and now I'm kind of venturing off into other areas, but I already mastered this one. So you want to master something before you go and start something else. You really want it. Like I go to a house for painting. I'm like, this is all we do. Everyone in Florida knows that's the cabinet coating place, right? That's all I had in my mind. I want to be the best cabinet coating place, and I have in my head on that book you saw was number one cabinet refinishing company in the United States. How do I
So
get there? I'm going to attract the people. Right? Because probably getting there, that's a lot of time and effort. I wanna still do what I do and be with my family. So when it's time, more people will come. I believe that, and it happens because I believe it. Now, I would say most businesses go and look for their people, which is smart, which is kind of what you should do. I just have, I flow and people come to me when I'm ready or when I'm not. Like I just had my guy Aiden and my uh and Kaylin, who she's my admin now, and Aiden, he's like my business manager, I would say. They came to me. I wasn't 100% ready for them. I'll tell you that much. I wasn't, but
you're
I
never
I
100% ready.
saw the potential, and I'm like, I'll have to figure it out. And it was a lot. So that's, it's like 12 I did a couple other things too, to make the business look better. So it was a big decrease monthly in income. So you got to be okay with when you grow, necessarily you don't make more upfront. If you build the system properly and you grow, you probably shouldn't be making your like front office should probably be making just as much as you
Yep.
once you're scaling to a certain degree, honestly, because those people are taking a lot of pressure off you to grow. So they should make just as much as you until the other branches start going. And then that's how you make more because now your other places are making you more money. Uh,
Exactly right.
yeah. So that's
You,
how,
you,
like, I don't read business, but I honestly don't. And you don't need to, like, that's what I'm saying. This is my way. I have natural business instincts. I have natural sales instincts. Like, I have natural people instincts. I don't read too much about business. I don't get into the painting space that much. When I do is on these podcasts, and I do want to share my wisdom more and help people internally not suffer. Like that's kind of why I do these podcasts. Because I feel like I would say 95% of business owners don't understand to help yourself first, and then you can help others. Because if you're in trauma, how you can help someone? Like in the airplane, right? The thing comes down, they say you go first and then you help someone else. So you get to be selfless or selfish in being selfless. It's the yin and yang. Everything in life is the yin and yang, right? You got to isolate to be very present because you gotta learn and figure you out. Who are the most dominant people? Are the ones who you didn't see them for a while, and I know where they pop up. That's because for like 5, 10 years, they're just like zoned in on who am I gonna be, and then they figure that out, and then they're unstoppable because they're them. They're who they were supposed to be. Some act are very well, but I would say some of the ones that are the most successful, they just found who they are and they live in that zone of consciousness, and happiness.
Yeah. And I think that's really what's important to understand is that your business is a reflection of you and you need to be a leader, not a boss. That's what attracts the talent that allows you to scale.
Yeah.
And then you also mentioned, taking a smaller piece of a larger pie. So as you grow, you will not have the same revenue take home that you had when you started out, but it's a smaller piece of a larger pie. So that should all pay off long term, money wise. Um,
And it's
so
what you want to do, right? Like, how big of an impact do you want to have?
yes,
Like, you got to test yourself too. Is it about the money? Like, you, I don't know, guys, I'm telling you, like, I'll try. You know what? I'm gonna try to do like a level guide. Hey, start here, then go here, then go here. From how I went in my
yeah.
evolution of mind and self. But I was really low, guys. Like, I'm talking about, like, I had super bad habits that I'm still overcoming. I used to be addicted to a lot of things. In that club world, you could probably understand what things I'm talking about. I don't even drink anymore. That's how far I've come. But to eliminate the drinking was very hard too. I had to see in myself that, oh man, just if I relax, I feel like I have to drink. And I'm
Yep.
like, no, but that's me. Have drinks. Do your own thing. I kind of am a scientist with myself and to see what works and what doesn't. That's what I've done for the last 10 years. I read books. I haven't really got a coach or anything like that. I feel like I've wanted to, do it on my own, and I feel like that's who would get Corral, Alexander the Abundant, to be the real person I need to be. Everyone needs to be their own real person, and we all need to love each other and give each other credit and help each other out. We're all one big union, one big consciousness. If we can figure out how to help each other out, we won't have to depend on a bunch of people who don't know what they're doing.
So I know so many guys who have spent years trying to scale their business to even seven figures, right? And I think then they take business coaching. They're in the weeds trying to figure out how to be the best person that they can be to lead a team. But I think where most guys fail is they focus on the business and not themselves. And I think that's ultimately, you have a business that is simple, and that's what allowed you to scale. You focus on one service. You don't chase down those shiny objects of exterior painting projects that come along from time to time. You do what you do well, and that's what has allowed you to scale. But I think based on what you're saying here, most of that has come from the mindset shift of I'm going to grow a business to I'm going to be the best person I can be to lead a team that grows a business.
So you want to? This is my business model. You ready?
Yep.
The better I get, the bigger my business gets.
Bingo.
That's it. I don't, guys, don't, well, I'm not saying be you, but like, you got a lot of these guys that have all these sheets, and I love them, man. And they love doing those sheets. If I love doing those sheets, I would do them. I honestly, that's what I have my new people for, to track everything. So you do need that. You definitely want to track stuff. Okay. I did it on my own, just, world of, like, I definitely track, it was definitely a system. Okay, guys, you got to have the system. I was always there. My guys always knew I was there. Every Monday, I give them a sermon about 20 minutes, about mindset. All my guys have evolved with me. They all trust me. We're like family because they've seen my mindset works, right? And it's helped all of them evolve themselves and their families. So that's my business plan. If I can't get clearer, if I can't have more space in my mind, if I can't have like a stronger spirit, I'm only here. Like, this is it, right? I gotta let all this stuff out from the past that I like program myself with, and let new things in. Like there's I'm not, I would say, super religious. I'd say I'm more into the truths of spirituality, right? I'm not into, I like to see different aspects of everything. But one thing one that I go off is trusting God with all your heart. God could be the creator, whoever you believe in, right? So just let's put that. So trusting God with all your heart. Do not lean on your own judgment. Your own judgment is that hamster in the freaking wheel or the rat in the wheel. If you trust your own judgment, you're just gonna keep doing this. You're gonna get super highs and then get good ideas, and then the adrenaline's gonna wear off. You're gonna go down and be like, no, and then you make the same decisions you did before. Then you're gonna have highs and have good ideas. Then you're gonna make the same decisions you did before, and then you're gonna go insane, right? Al Brown, you go insane. So you get to snap out of that, all right, and elevate yourself. So that's what, don't lean on your own judgment. When you're elevating, when you want something new in your life, you have to get out of your own way. Do not lean on your own judgment, right? Who are you going to lean on? Acknowledge God in all your ways, or the creator, or your highest self, the one that got you excited. Like, oh, I could do that. You need to somehow figure out how to kind of maintain up there, right? In the lows, and believe, this is going to happen. So you got to trust in your highest self. You got to trust yourself when you're not feeling it. You got to trust so much in God and the universe that everything's working out. And that's what makes you strong and powerful, where you don't need anything else, because you're the creator of your world now, because you're powerful. You're coming from the inside out, right? And then, your life your path will be set free. You'll be free because you are making the decisions and trusting yourself and not caring the outcome, right? So this is the thing between manifestation and people who are obsessive, and where you meet in the middle, okay? You need to do the meditation. Remember, meditation is just the practice of a feeling and your vision. Don't think it's a guru thing. It's anyone who has a vision and the feeling of it, practicing staying in that feeling. And then the other side is the work. You got to have this, and you got to have this, and you got to put them here. Okay? You got to do the work. Maybe I don't do all the work in my business. I do a ton of this, man, like I'm the visionary, right? So I do visionary work, and then I give the passion, and I give the path, and I let everyone see where we're going, right? I'm the light of the company. I'm the lighthouse. I brighten everyone's like day up, right? Or I allow them to live in a higher self. Then I put in a lot of work on becoming that person who's going to keep elevating, so they could keep elevating. And then, I do the work, a lot of work in the business, but I do the stuff I like right now,
So we put every team member through a Colby assessment. It's like a personality test. And one of the factors in that is a factor called quick start. And quick start's all about having that visionary personality. I imagine you're pretty high on that scale there. So Alex, what I want to do is dive into a few details of your business, because you've scaled tremendously over the last couple of years, and a lot of guys are going to be just straight up asking how. And obviously we've nailed down the importance of mindset. And what I tell everybody is mindset is 95% of the entrepreneurship game. Skills, expertise, that's 5. You can learn that, via a book or whatever. But that 5% does have an impact. And I think a lot of guys struggle there. So just a few things that I want to dive into is your marketing, and just honestly, like, how did you get, because we've only recently engaged you over the last year or so, but how did you grow your business from 0 to doing, 8 to 10 projects a week? How'd you start?
So I would do Facebook boosts on my own. I probably put more money than I needed to on that, but I still, I got everything I needed. That's basically what I did. That's it. I put a ton of effort into my Facebook. I put a ton of effort into my branding, because my branding is me. Like Cabin Code Kings is me. So like out from the restaurant industry, and I knew I'm like a brander, right? I like to make things that aren't living come to life. So, I have over 400 5-star reviews on 3 different platforms. I have I have a person who takes pictures and posts 3 times a day. I invest in these things because I love it and I believe in that. That's what, and I've always done. At first I did it myself. Now I obviously pay someone to do it.
Yeah.
Because it was taking so much time and I wanted my time. And so that's basically how I did. I just hustled on the brand, made it look the best it could. The people came to me. I had to restructure my business. I didn't tell you this, guys. I was doing like 8-9 jobs a week within like a year and a half. And then I fired half of my staff because they were cancerous. And I went back to like 3 to 5 jobs a week. And then slowly all these good people that I kept, their friends wanted to come and join. So that the people who came came from the good fruit, right? And then now we again 8 to 9 jobs a week with now a phenomenal team where we all help each other out. But yeah, the marketing, the website, Austin's awesome. He's there for you. Like if you have any questions, if you want to dig in, he always like gets on meetings with you. So that's good. I like people like Austin who are there for you, for companies who want to level up. But on it again, Austin, I saw it in my head, or someone needed a job, and I'm like, well, shit, I need to create another job a week. And
there it is.
And then without any like it's not like I was getting extra jobs, right? But I was like, all right, well, come on, let's go.
Throttle it up.
I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Figure it out. That's my just do it. Tanner Mullen's my best friend, and
Love Tanner.
he's like, Alex, I just do it. He does phenomenal. I wish I had a little more of his habits, but I have my own. And everyone, you need to do it. You need to do it your way so you're happy, right? Don't, me and him have given each other a lot of advice along the way. I've taken some, he's taken some, but we've mixed what we are with that advice, and that's how we are where we're at, right? So be you. Don't need to be like all these other guys. These other guys who are successful because that's them and that's how they do it. Now you don't reinvent the wheel. I did the same system as at the other cabinet place. I took the same operations, like same prep, everything, right? Like it's not like I changed anything. I just put love. I put more love into the company. And then I'm I would say a little bit adrenaline rush for manifestation and how powerful am I, inside. And right now I'm going through a situation where it's pushing me to focus more. That's what I wanted to get to. Focus who you want to be like. That's what it is focus. When you figure out, when you do those questions 3 to 5 years, you can write all this shit down. If you don't do anything about it, if you can't focus on it, your body will never change because you've lied to your body so many times. How many times has all you people out there, how many times have you said to your, I'm going to work out, I'm going to eat right, I'm going to get something fixed on myself, or I'm not going to, eat this junk food anymore. All these different things. Your body has now been used to you lying to it. Right?
Complacency.
So now you get to you got to be the commander of your ship, and you got to be like, this is who we are. And you want me to prove it? This is how focused and disciplined I am to be this individual who then does the tasks that gets the job done. Because if you can't think like the individual and you can't feel like that individual, now some of these billionaires, they'll tell you they're miserable because they never worked on the inside. They just have massive action on the outside.
Totally.
It's going to be effort, a lot of effort to grow the business and work on yourself, the thing you're going to gain is, regardless if that business, whatever happens to that business, it's going to happen. The one thing that's always going to stay, you elevate yourself, you changed, and you made your life better. So the business, like Austin said, is just contemplating. It's a compliment of your work on making yourself more confident in yourself.
I tell my wife all the time, like, I have learned so much being an entrepreneur.
Ugh,
I am not concerned about the business and where that goes. It could blow up tomorrow. And you know what? I would survive. It's something that you learn as an entrepreneur how to manifest money if that's what you're after out of thin air. But really, it's mainly about building up yourself and being able to elevate yourself every single day.
yeah.
It's powerful stuff, man. You did bring up a point that I want to touch on though, and that is 400 reviews on Google. What is your process? We have clients that struggle to get a couple reviews each month. How do you go about getting over 400 reviews on Google?
Well, I focus. It's a primary focus of the business. Like I have my admin on Wednesdays, we prep them to do the reviews. I don't wait till after the job. Right when we're done.
Yep.
They already know. They've been told 3 times. They're doing reviews. On Wednesday, we're like, hey, you doing check, card, or this? I'm getting payment when we're done. I'm not waiting. Be prepared to pay me when you look everything over and you're done. And then if you do the reviews, I'll give you like $25 off. But you don't have to. If you want to, I never force. But as you see, like if you don't give some incentive, people don't care.
Exactly.
Regardless if you did a phenomenal job, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got to focus on things. If you want to be happier, how are you going to be happier? You inside, you got to let a lot of the crap that you let bother you not bother you anymore. How you going to do that? You got to wake up in the morning and be like, hey, if these things that normally bother me come at me, I'm going to stay put and let it go away, and I'm going to stay happy. And then you elevate, and those things don't bother you anymore. I promise. Like so many things that used to bother me before, it does not anymore, which would tear someone apart now. Like these situations are crazy. And my guy's like, how you so chill? I'm like, you don't even know. This is easy.
A lot of work. Yeah. A lot of work. So Alex, what's the best advice you've ever received as a business owner, as a human?
I would say just if you can get the habit of believing in yourself and not being distracted from the outside world. Right now, we have a lot of distractions on not the most positive stuff, which is you don't even know it subconsciously getting you to think negative. So you need to create your own bubble. Don't be naive. You could watch things. Watch it if it doesn't affect you. If it affects you, don't do it until you can watch it and it doesn't affect you. You got to stay in your bubble and be like, this is who I'm going to be. And then realize as you're becoming that new self, see what hinders that progression and eliminate those things. And then you could come back to them once you're stronger, right? And that's what I would say would be the best advice. Like isolate, don't neglect people. You got to love people. And it's a fine line, right? It's like but you got to isolate what you're trying to do. And once you achieve a certain level of it, then you could be like, hey, this is what I'm doing. Because people will ask you what you're doing because hey, you're different. What are you doing? What do you got going on over there? That's when you want to tell people, unless you're really strong and you've got like a very strong personality who can, get distraction and just wipe it away. Like you gotta isolate, keep it to yourself. And then once people start asking you and it comes into fruition, then hey, this is how I did it. This is what happened. But all the big time people say, keep whatever you're trying to do to yourself. Cause everyone and anyone will try to keep you at their level, and they don't want you to succeed. I know it sounds mean, but like even family, like they don't want to seem wrong. No one wants to seem wrong. When you're elevating, that means the other person's doing something that's keeping them at the same level.
Yep.
So they want you to stay there. Your subconscious does. So things are coming at you in both directions, internally and externally. You want to at least eliminate the external so you can work on the internal.
Now, you've been in this space a while. I'm sure that there's some challenges that you've run into. Is there anything that, other than, let's say, the mindset aspect of this, is there any bad advice or anything that you see other business owners in this industry
Greed,
pursue that you would recommend they stay away from?
being greedy, money. So, as an example, most business owners when they start, most of them don't have a lot of money. So they're in a mindset of lack and scarcity right away. Then they get the money, right? And then they start buying stuff. So I say, relax on getting too ambitious on buying things, right? Then when you get the money, what usually happens, people get scared of losing it. So when you get scared of losing it, do you think you're going to grow? No.
Afraid to take risk.
Afraid to, oh, you got this money now. You're going to lose it. That old mindset's coming in. Don't be greedy. Know what you want. If you want to stay small and keep getting more money, terrific. If you feel like you have something to share with the world, which I think everyone does, you get to grow, and the outer materials should never make a decision for what you're doing. All right. Yeah, you need to be smart. You're not trying to go buy a mansion and when you're making 150K. Okay. If you have a passion about something, don't let the money make the decision. Even in everyday life, don't need a certain amount of something to be a certain way. That's the practice. So that's what I would say. Watch falling into greed, watch falling into ego, because now you're successful. You have your own business. You don't have shit. You run by your business. You do the sales, you do the calls, you do everything. And then I'm in a position now where I just do sales, but the business still got me mentally.
100%.
It still has me mentally. So I'm still working on, I want total freedom. That's my goal, total freedom, where I do as I please in the highest of wisdom, without interruption of anything but what I feel is the best.
Alex, so you are a very colorful individual. I appreciate your honesty, your humbleness, and as an entrepreneur myself, I see the fact that you're building your own plane as it's taking off, but it is your own plane. You are not looking at the external factors of what your competition's doing. You have that abundance mindset. You have a simple business model that has helped you scale immensely.
Yeah.
I think that, along with that mindset of yours, is what every one of us should be seeking. So, Alex, we've covered a lot. If you have one other insight or one other great takeaway that you should impart on anybody listening in, it's something you want to scream from the mountaintop, what would that be?
HFEV, highest frequency, energy, vibrancy to the highest power, utmost power of whoever you believe in every moment of your life. Just getting 1% better. Don't need the home run. If every day you're getting 1% better in every moment, that next year you will see what that brings to you. Okay? And then that's it. Just HFEV and make sure the business doesn't break you down. Do it in love, do it in joy. If you can't do it in love and joy, and it's like you can't elevate while doing the business, figure something else out, elevate yourself, and then do the business again. You never fail unless you completely quit.
That's right. And with that, we are out. Thank you today, Alex, for being here, man.
Thank you.